Oh no. Okay. I've got to reapproach this. What's up everybody? My name is Elliott, but you can call me the Motory Notary. And remember, just because you're waiting on parts for one project doesn't mean you can't start on something else on a completely different car. That's exactly the case today with my 1983 Mercedes 300 TD that was previously owned by Tyler Hoover and featured on season 5 of Car Trek. Now, just the other week, my uncle and I went over to Eurasian Bob's to take kind of a junkyard dive looking for just little odds and ends for this car. And well, while we're waiting on parts for the Volvo that I've shoved into the corner, now's as good a time as any to put those parts on and hopefully get this car even more sorted than it already is. So let's dive right into it and start yanking some parts off and putting parts on this old diesel Mercedes. A few weeks ago, my uncle and I went to Eurasian Bob's to junkyard dive looking for little odds and ends for this Mercedes 300 TD. Mostly cosmetic stuff, like the corner lights, the rear Mercedes symbol, a rear view mirror, just little stuff like that. But there is one major thing, in my opinion, that it needs, and that's one of these. This is a heater control valve, or as the Mercedes people call it, a mono valve. Apparently, during the filming of Car Trek, Tyler said the mono valve on this car started leaking, so they just bypassed it and left it be. Unfortunately for me, that means that the heat doesn't work at all because, well, there's no coolant going into the heater core. So today, in addition to all the little odds and ends we need to replace on this car, the main thing I'd love to accomplish is getting one functioning mono valve between the two of them. It's getting to be wintertime in Kansas, and it would be really, really nice to have heat. All right, first stage with any project that involves the engine bay is opening the hood, but on this car, it's kind of a job because not only are the mounting places for the hood springs rusted away and just not there, but the little locking positions on this hood are bent in a weird way that it's kind of a two-man job, no matter which way you slice it. So let's get to it here. Okay, and it'll only come up to about here before stopping. And then I need a little bit more down. Still more. Not open. Oh, it's not open all the way. Yeah. And then service position, and it should latch. Now we can actually access stuff. Well, I'll pull you closer, but the mono valve is right there. All right. And under the messy engine bay, this is what we're after, and the coolant lines have already been bypassed, so half of that stuff's already done. We literally just need to get it out, and I think it's just attached with those two screws, right?
That's what it looks like.
We'll pull it out and see what's going on. Also really good that this new one has a connector because this looks awful. Oh wow, look at that, lead's pulled right off. So a lot of these Mercedes have a problem with the heater valve not actuating, like it either gets stuck open or stuck shut. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but mine didn't have either of those problems. It was just leaking. So maybe, hopefully the internal parts of it are still good. It's got like little rubber gaskets and stuff in there. And I'm hoping between the two mono valves, we can make one working mono valve. Oh, look at that, already got it out. Let's bring it over to the bench and see what we can make of it. Ended up bringing the bench a little closer because, well, this is where the light is. So first things first, let's put a meter on both of them because they both have a solenoid, and we definitely want the one with the good solenoid. Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, great. Well, I hope this works.
I hope. Yes.
Hey, something. Okay.
That's what
so
you would expect.
We want to use this solenoid and probably nothing off of this. If this one leaks and we can't get a good reading off of it, yeah, let's pull it apart. It's part of the rebuild kit.
This one is bad.
Yeah.
No question.
I'm expecting to see this thing seized in place and rubber that is crackier than basically hardtack. So let's just see what this thing looks like. I was expecting this to be way drier, but there's its little filter. It's crooked. This thing is very crusty and corroded, which I guess makes sense for something that's constantly submerged in coolant. Well, there's no obvious signs of where it was leaking, but maybe we pull this one out too, or the other option is to
put it in.
Just install this one.
Yeah.
It was like 2 bolts.
Yeah.
We just hook her up.
I'm for that.
Okay,
Let's do that.
let's do that.
In order to put this thing in, what we're going to have to do is pull this hose out. Those guys did a first-class job. They found a piece of hose, and they put it in place of this valve so that it wouldn't leak. So that's good work on those guys.
Good work, Jared and or Freddie, for that roadside repair.
Yeah, first class.
Okay, because I was planning on draining the coolant anyway, I think right now all we're gonna do is pop the hose off, let it kind of splash on the ground. I'll try to catch it in some pans, put this new valve back on, replace what splashes out, and see if it works. If it does work, then we'll go ahead and do the whole coolant flush. But for right now, let's make a mess. All right, let me get these pans. All right.
Keep going, keep going. Okay, you're probably gonna catch a bunch of it there. Oh yeah, look at all the coolant coming out.
Oh, good.
That's actually pressurized.
Honestly, kind of sounds like we're milking it. It's like spraying into a, I don't know, I hope the audio picked up on that.
I hope so.
Oh, this poor car. There's just nothing but fluids. Yeah, catching the majority of it. One hose off, bob valve somewhat in place. There, I'll try to work this one on. I'm blocking my own light source. I think it's on.
I think it is. Oh, good job.
There you go, I'll hold it.
You got it.
Again, great YouTube, reaching into the darkness behind the engine. See, people in the comments say I make you do everything. Now we'll funnel some of this gross coolant back into it and see what happens.
Honestly, it didn't look that bad coming out.
Don't say that, we gotta replace it still. But see, it's kind of dirty. And also for you Mercedes purists out there who can't see, it's not the right color, but I'm gonna change that. BMW guys and Mercedes guys, very particular about their coolant. Yeah, somebody just put in like Prestone into this. But there's enough in there to make something actuate.
Yep. So
that is a really hard level to read.
You know, we could always pour water in it.
Water it is. Which I got hot water in the hopes that it'll help this engine come up to temp more if we introduce some hot water to it. It's pissing out.
Good.
We're good. Okay. Now just to start it and warm it up forever. All right, get ready for airplane stall warning sound. All right, and since it's a diesel, diesels don't really get warm very fast, this could take a while. Oh man, look at that thing go though. That's another thing we're taking care of today, for sure. Nothing draining out of it yet? Nope. Cool beans. All right, well, I'll check back with you when it's warm. Well, in an effort to speed things along, we opted to take the car around the block and get some temperature in it, which is good for it. Hasn't been around the block in a while. Temperature's moving. Temperature's looking good. It's moving at least, so speeding it along quite a bit more than if we were just sitting in the warehouse idling. So just a quick trip around the block and we'll put it back and see what the valve does.
Like it. I think it's great.
All right, back from the drive. As you can hear the clacketing clatter behind me, the car is still on, still letting it warm up. My uncle just put a meter on it, and you think the valve's open already?
I think that it has power.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go in there and turn the heater on and see what happens. It's something I've never done in this car. Move my wheel. Ready?
Yeah.
I don't really know what's supposed to happen. Oh, there we go. The fan's running. Fan's running. No heat yet. But there's also no coolant dumping out into the passenger floor, so at least my heater core isn't like spraying everywhere. Nothing.
I imagine that second valve we found
is closed
is
or
closed.
bad. All right, shut the car down. Obviously coolant isn't getting towards the valve and even the heater core, so we suspect it is this little pump right here. Let's take a look. This guy right here, it might be the problem. And apparently, according to the book, do you still have that page?
Of course not.
I'll casually walk back over. And apparently, according to the book, it is a heater circulation pump electrical connector and hose. Kind of sounds like exactly the thing that we're trying to make work, and it's not working, because it's certainly not pumping if both sides of its coolant hoses are cold. All right, it's the next day now. We kind of had to wait for the car to cool down, but now that it is nice and cool, we can get that auxiliary heater pump thing out of the car, take it out, see if we can put it on the bench and make it actuate. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, have you guys ever wondered what it is that I do for a living? You know, when I'm not working on cars or notarizing legal documents, I work at a company like this. We design high-speed communications interfaces for computers, like this one. So you could say I know a thing or two about communications and the value of keeping them safe. So when today's sponsor Surfshark reached out to me, it was a no-brainer partnership. In the ocean of online content, there are a lot of websites out there that take your information without you even knowing it. But with Surfshark VPN, you can swim under their radar. Nothing is creepier than having a conversation with a friend and having that exact item you were just talking about pop up in your ads. But with Surfshark, that's no longer going to be an issue. Unlike most VPNs, Surfshark allows you to use just one subscription on multiple devices simultaneously. This means you can stay protected on your MacBook, iPhone, and Xbox 24/7 all at the same time. And it's got this neat feature called multi-hop, which allows you to double up on your VPN protection by putting 2 VPN servers between you and your destination website. But by far my favorite feature is being able to access streaming content that's no longer available in your country. For example, remember being able to watch The Office on Netflix? Well, using Surfshark, just connect to a British server and boom, there it is, ready for you to binge again. So if you want both protection and freedom online, visit the link in my description below using code Alvis for a whopping 83% off as a special holiday offer. Surfshark is also throwing an extra 4 months totally free. Yes, that's 83% off, just like how this Mercedes is a 1983. How neat is that? Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk to try it for yourself today. Show me some support by supporting Surfshark. Anyway, back to the Mercedes.
Yeah, it's gonna have to.
Oh,
Look at that!
wow. The same brown water issue here doesn't bode well. But success, it's out. Now, just need to figure out if we can make this work or if this repair is actually going to cost us money, because so far, $0 in repairs right now. So we're gonna go put it on the bench now, apply power to it and see if we can get it to actuate. But as there's always something exciting going on, my dad's over here checking the timing on his 54 Corvette, and this is just always something cool to see and hear run. Let's go check it out. Don't want to bother him, he's in the zone, but it works?
Yeah. The problem was the terminal was falling off. Can you hear it?
We'll wait until he's done with this for a second, and then I'll show you what he was talking about. Turns out this thing was just having a terminal falling off of it. Clean it up a little bit, and then resolder the connector on, and this thing should be working. I can't wait for people in the comments to notice the actual professional soldering iron stuff in the background and wonder why we're using the big garage iron. All right, well now let's just put this thing back in the car, warm it back up, and I have confidence in heat this time around. We know the auxiliary valve at least runs now, so now the question is, does the new mono valve we put in work at all? Won't know until we heat the car up, but in the meantime, I'm also interested to see if that airbox shaking got any better, so let's start it up. All right, now it's just a really fast shake. I mean, wow. It's so fast you can't really see it on camera, but look at the stuff dancing around on it. So it's matching with the frame rate. This thing is like, oh my gosh. But who knows, maybe that's just how old Mercedes are supposed to be. Either way, we're gonna let this thing warm up, probably take it around the block again, but we'll be right back once there's some temperature in this engine. All right, we're back from warming the car up, so now is the moment of truth. My uncle did point out something. That new mono valve is just a tiny bit damp, but I'm still gonna try the heat anyway. Hard to see, but it is damp, like right there. Still worth a shot, so let's turn on the heat. So far, not warm. So now the plan is to manually apply power to it and see if we can make it open. Yeah, I can feel that.
I can feel something.
It's moving. All right, shut the engine down so you can actually hear now. From what I can tell, this pump is running. That moves when we apply power to it, so what isn't happening? The hot water isn't getting up to this pipe there, which is not letting it into the valve, but then we discovered on the other side of the heater core is this homemade doohickey, and I think this is closed off. Now, I don't know if that's blocking it from going through the heater core at all, but the only thing we can do now is try to pull whatever that stopper is off and maybe make a straight through bypass or whatever, but that's definitely not supposed to be there because I've looked at other 300 TD engine bays and none of them have that. See, more of that brown water. All right, now what in the heck is this thing?
Completely stopped up.
Yep, that's a lot of goop and rust. Yeah, well, from the plumbing bucket, we were able to put a nipple on there to at least join these two hoses together. Not a permanent solution, but this should get coolant flowing to where it needs to go to see if we can make this thing work, because right now, still at $0. And one dropped thing. By the way, yesterday you said this coolant doesn't look bad. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
I think it's because we keep freeing up things that weren't flowing, and all the rusty water is getting up in there, which, you know, is really good for your block and your radiator and everything else. But again, we're changing this all once we can get it working. Right now, there should still be enough heat in the radiator and coolant system in general to turn this thing on, just the ignition, and make the heat run. See what happens. Okay, that is audibly running.
I sure would like to see that getting hot.
And all that happens is hot coolant needs to go from there to the bottom of this valve. It opens, sends it through the heater core, back out this way. Pretty simple stuff here, Mercedes. Let's just let the coolant flow. Ooh, it's hot here now.
Is it?
Yeah, hold on. No heat in here yet.
It's going this way, down through this valve and into the pump. It goes into the center and out the outside.
I had this all wrong.
Yeah, that's my guess. Maybe the heater core is plugged.
I don't like the sound of that.
No, neither do I.
The only other thing I can do is turn the car on again and see if that makes a difference. I don't know why it should, but
It won't hurt anything. There may be something there could be many things we don't know.
okay, and for the 9th update on the coolant system situation, we have now bypassed that valve entirely. It is now also straight piped, a lot of straight piping going on here. So now I'm gonna try to just turn the ignition on and let the pumps do what they need to do and see what happens.
Wow, that's hot.
Well, hang on. Give it a second, because it's got to fill up this heater core.
That's really
Oh, that's warm. So this wasn't this warm before. Every time we do this, things are getting warmer. It's like we're getting closer. This might be a major heater core plug. But the good news is it's not like dumping on the ground here.
That's a good thing.
All right, I was about to give up, but I know you can't feel it, but just imagine. I revved it up a little bit. That's genuine heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
And it's staying. I revved it, that's all I did. I revved it up and now we have heat. Clear yourself out, Mercedes. Oh my God, I can't believe we have heat. I was thinking we had to end the day on another mystery. This is fantastic. Oh, how exciting. This is under those, it works. Why? Okay, so a lot has happened. We've determined that there was able to be heat produced by this engine once we removed this guy. So we straight piped, passed the mono valve, heat worked. Put the mono valve back in, now heat works, and when you turn it to cold, cold works. Huh, how about that? All it took was a little bit of figuring out where the coolant routed in this car and what pumps went where, and well, it doesn't matter now. It is fixed, and now I have heat for the winter time. Okay, some time has marched on, as you can tell by the change of my shirt, but we're ready to drain the coolant in this thing now that we've got the whole heater situation worked out. And I was looking it up, and of course the Mercedes W123 guys out there are gonna be like, yeah, it's one of the great things about the car. But check this out. Mercedes made it really easy to change the coolant in this car because they just put this handy dandy plastic drain plug like right at the front of the car. Look at this thing. It's just right there. Just this big plastic guy right here. So now we'll just put our big pan under there and get to draining. Wow. It's not the cleanest. But now it's getting brown. Went to brown to green to a nice brown again.
That is a puzzle.
Look how cloudy it just got from that.
I see.
Wow, must be a lot of rust circulating in there that we probably broke free when we were jimmying around with everything the other day. And presto, just like that, it's all done. Look at this nastiness. Oh my gosh. There's so many different things that shouldn't be happening in here. Mostly the color. All right, my dad just had a great idea. Because this water is so nasty, if we put in new coolant, it's just kind of mix up and circulate that again. So I'm actually gonna put some just plain old water in it, run it for a few minutes, let it circulate, and then drain that again to really get the sediment and crap out of here. I filled this way too much. Wow, that is just pure brown. But this is why we did it this way.
Yeah. Not flushing is a really good idea.
Very brown. All right, it's the next day again. I drove it to lunch to really get it up to temperature. This is another water fill flush. I'm gonna dump it out again, and then this should be it. Hopefully this gets most of that murky brown water out of this thing, but I guess we'll see. So far, pretty brown. I've already relieved the pressure, but here it comes. Yeah, that's just as brown as it was yesterday. Yucky. All right, well, let this drain for a while. And yeah, no better. No worse really, but definitely no better. I think that's just the way of life for this car. So that's 3 drains and it's all kind of like this. I think I'm just gonna put the proper coolant in it and call it a day as far as that goes, because we still have a few other things we need to replace on this car. So. Okay, well, I put the new coolant in, let it warm up, and topped it off again. Everything seems to be fine. But now it's time to put a stop to filling and draining and filling and draining. It seems like all I've been doing for the last few days. Let's change out these taillights and actually make a noticeable difference on the Mercedes 300 TD. It's actually an easier job than you'd think. As you can see, this taillight is pretty cracked. Cracking up here, it's missing a chunk in the corner there. But the big issue is this gash right here, which I think happened when Tyler hit the guardrail.
Come on. You're really on that guardrail, aren't you?
But we have a new used one from Eurasian Bob's. Now, as you can see, not nearly as bad. Although this one has a crack, it doesn't have an actual hole in it. And no holes is better. Ooh, let me show you how the other one looks too. This one is a big improvement. This one, it's hard to see on camera, but it is just spidered out in the turn signal region. No actual holes in it, but still doesn't look that good. This one though, is like a brand new taillight. After some cleaning, this thing looks amazing. So this one is definitely gonna make a big improvement. And all you have to do to replace them is pretty much undo that giant nut right there. And there's another one over here behind the spare tire that this car somehow still has, which is just amazing, but it is back there too. So we'll pop these off, pop the new ones on. This thing's gonna be like a brand new car. Not really, but I'll feel better about it. Ta-da! I almost didn't even need to speed that footage up. That was the simplest taillight replacement I've ever done on any car. Check these out. No spider webbing. And over here, no holes. All right, mission accomplished on that front. Now, Mercedes symbol. There's a lot going on the rear of this car. But we're making it better, and it still hasn't cost us a dime. Now, to replace my little ringless symbol, I actually have to get underneath in here because you can't pull it off from the outside. That's probably why this one is missing its ring in the first place. At some point in this car's history, somebody went through and tried to pry it off, but because it's actually screwed on, the ring just popped off, and I'm sure this thing has been a Trident for, who knows, the last 20 years. That's gonna be fixed today. So underneath here, you just gotta remove some trim and pop some stuff down and get one really hard to reach bolt, and next thing you know, this thing is gonna look like a respectable Mercedes again. So I guess let's get done screwing. All right, now we have access to it. I just want to show you guys where the bolt is because, well, it's not easy to steal these symbols, let's just say that. So under here, you got your wiper mechanism and stuff, and then way in there, that's the bolt for the symbol. Hopefully a nut driver will fit up one of these. No, here. Hopefully a nut driver will fit right there. Aha!
Aha, we went through this in the
Oh yeah, because it's not a 10. It's like a 12 or a 13. Again, because Mercedes doesn't want you to steal this symbol. For all of those thieves out there who are gonna disassemble 300 TD tailgates and have a 10, you're out of luck. Okay, schmutz is clean. Wow, look at that. Also, Uncle Glenn, fun fact about that symbol that we just put on.
Yes?
It also came from Tyler Hoover's old wagon. He saw the thing and he said, hey, that was from the back door of my old wagon. So from one Tyler Hoover car to another, this thing lives on. It's pretty crazy. What a small world. All right. Oh, wow, look at that. What a nice looking symbol. It's like a complete car now, but there's still one more little free thing we need to take care of, and this one, well, this one could be harder than it looks. Let me show you what I mean. All right, as you can see, my rearview mirror is missing the mirror part and the bottom half of itself. And getting this out is no easy task, but it doesn't require any tools. As you saw when I did the Bob junkyard dive, you just kind of got to reef on it with your raw manpower and strength, but it doesn't make you look cool. Let me try to get this one out before putting the new one in. Holy crap. Oh, it's breaking as I'm pulling. Oh no. Okay. All right, well, I've got to reapproach this. That was not supposed to happen. With gloves, because now I'm just gripping a sharp square. Like I said, nothing is nice and easy. This is the easy part. All right. I mean, it is in there. That is crazy. Okay, boom, it's as easy as that, guys. Next time you want to do a mirror replacement on a W123 Mercedes, you just do that. Oh, okay. And I'm back with the new mirror. Now this is supposed to be the hard part, so we'll see how this goes. Apparently you just put one side up and then use a mallet or something to tap the other side in. Because the last thing you want to do is be like reefing on this thing and break the windshield. So here goes nothing. It's whatever side wants to work. That was supposed to be the hard part. Well, cool. What a repair. Look at that. I can see behind me now. Something I've never done in this car. Wow. And still free. So there you go, guys. We were able to repair the CarTrek Mercedes 300 TD for absolutely $0. Of course, getting the parts free from Eurasian Bob went a long way, but either way, it didn't cost me a thing. The biggest thing is getting that heater working. Yes, it took a few days and a lot of coolant draining and a lot of figuring out what hoses went where, but it doesn't matter. I have heat now, and because that valve works, I also have air conditioning, which is pretty fancy from a car from the early 80s. Of course, the rear taillights, that rear symbol, and the rear view mirror also went a huge way to making this car more livable. It's amazing how little repairs like this can sometimes be more meaningful than giant repairs. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of behind the scenes content there and stuff I can't always post on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Join my Facebook group. It's a great place to share memes and rib me for how long it takes to make videos. And other than that, guys, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video. It greatly helps my performance, and I will see you guys on the next video.